Bonjour, bienvenue. Salut, je m'appelle enchanté. Welcome to another video. Clear my throat. Let me clear my throat. Okay, before I get into this video, there's a guy here on YouTube that commented on a video that I did about the mass shooting in Chesapeake, Virginia, and he states to me by telling me to vote for the left. Vote for the left. Well, I made it clear that I'm not going to vote anymore because I'm disappointed at how lame and crappy, greedy and selfish politicians from both parties are. Both the Democrats and the Republicans are worthless. The Republicans are assholes, and the Democrats are weak, pathetic pussies. That's why I'm not going to vote for either one of them. Because they're pathetic and they're both for the same thing, the status quo. Too much corruption, too much money in politics. You know, there's a saying from my old friend that I used to have. I'm not going to say his name. And I remember him saying this: I'm not going to vote for no president. They're not going to do anything for me. True. But with me, you got to give me a reason to vote. If you are a presidential candidate, a senator, or a congressman, and you're running for office or you're running for re-election against someone who's challenging you, if you're like a Nina Turner or a Bernie Sanders or a Raphael Warnock, I'll vote for you. If you have those policies that these three people have, I will vote for you. But if you're not talking about what these guys are talking about, if you like a weak, pathetic candidate like Beto O'Rourke, I'm not going to vote for you, period. And I don't take sides. I'm not conservative and I'm not liberal. I'm just in the middle. So, to Level Z Animation, I think that's his name. He's from Canada, and he's been watching my videos because he saw the videos that I made about Canada and he didn't like them and he disagrees with me. But he doesn't comment all the time. You know, people in Canada, they have poor social skills, and they do. And, I don't understand those people anyway. And quite frankly, I don't want to have anything to do with them anyway. I don't care for them anyway. But, I'm friends with someone from Canada, and he's okay, and he has a brain, unlike people in his country. So, that's that. So let me get into this video. There's a place here in America, and it's located in the northeastern part of America, which is the United States. And I'm going to read about it. There's a little tidbit of it. And it's called New England, or in French, Nouvelle-Angleterre. Nouvelle-Angleterre. Okay. New England, or Nouvelle-Angleterre, is a region comprising 6 states in the northeastern United States: Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont. It is bordered by the state of New York to the west and by the Canadian provinces of New Brunswick, or in French, Nouveau-Brunswick, to the northeast, and Quebec, or Quebec, to the north. The Atlantic Ocean is to the east and southeast, and Long Island Sound is to the southwest. Boston is New England's largest city, as well as the capital of Massachusetts. Greater Boston is the largest metropolitan area, with nearly a third of New England's population. This area includes Worcester, Massachusetts, the second largest city in New England, Manchester, New Hampshire, the largest city in New Hampshire, and Providence, Rhode Island, the capital of and largest city in Rhode Island. Sorry about that, folks. At the end when I was reading that, my smartphone just blacked out on me. So it's not my fault. Okay, this video is not about New England. It's about the people of New England. And I heard some things about the people of New England. Okay, there's this guy called Walter's World. He's here on YouTube. He does travel videos with his family where him and his family travel to different countries and other parts of the world and all over the US. And he gives the pros and cons of countries in different parts of the US. And he talked about the people of New England. He said that the people of New England at first, they seem kind of rough around the edges. If you talk to them, they'll give you this thing called the New England Shield, where they just ignore you and don't talk to you. But after that, they'll start to warm up towards you and they go and start talking to you. So I'm assuming that's just the people in the country or in the city or both. So I don't know. So I had some experiences with people from New England online. There was this woman by the name of Tony Foley. She's from New England, and she commented on one of my videos on my channel. It was a video about, I think it was on one of the videos about Texas. And she watched one of them and she commented after she got done watching one of them, and she said this: "I'm from New England and I lived in Texas for 22 years. Texas is a whole other country. I understand that Texas is not everyone's cup of tea. And also, I buried my husband here." She said that in a comment on one of those videos that I did about Texas. And when I commented back to her in a reply, I told her about racism and how it is here in Texas. And shit you not, she responded to me by saying this to me: "Everybody is racist. Racism happens everywhere. And everybody is racist, regardless of race." And your point is? What's your point? What's your point? Yeah, she has no point. And yeah, that's true, but where is it coming from? Where's the racism is coming from? And I replied to her back. And I said this to her: yeah, racism is from people who are full of hate and ignorance. They hate people because of the color of their skin and what race they're from. Me as a person, I view, I judge people based on who they are on the inside, not what they look like on the outside. And people who hate someone from another race and their skin color, if they hate those people based on their race and their skin color, well, that's their problem. And after I said that, she never replied. As that song from Genesis with Phil Collins in it, no reply at all. Okay, another person from New England, Tedworth. He has a YouTube channel here on YouTube called Tedworth. He's basically this scrawny white man from New England with a beard. He looks goofy looking. And Tony Foley, I saw the thumbnail from her YouTube account when she commented on one of my videos from Texas on this channel. She had a goofy thumbnail of her like smiling in a goofy way wearing glasses. And Tedworth, he's a guy that lives somewhere in New England, Massachusetts to be exact. He drives all types of cars, I guess for a living, and he drives classic cars. And he did a video about left lane hogs, people hogging the left lane on the freeways and divided highways in New England. And he gave his example on how to overtake someone in the left lane and returning to the right lane to keep to the right after passing / overtaking someone. And he showed that someone who stays in the left lane and they're not overtaking anybody, they call the left lane the cruising lane, or the middle lane the cruising lane. As lane hogging. And I liked the video. And he was giving examples on what to do when driving on the 3-lane highway. And when I commented, sent him a comment on in the comment section on that video, he never replied. It was just a friendly, respectful comment, nothing bad. And I brought up the metric system, and he never replied. As that song from Genesis, no reply at all. I remember I did a phone call with a healthcare plan called Molina, where I try to get healthcare where I can get a debit card with that to buy food at the supermarket. Okay, when one of the people were asking me for my information over the phone from Molina, and this healthcare company or healthcare plan company was located in New England. The people who were asking for my information, they were playing around and joking around. I think it was a woman was asking me about my name, what's my name and my date of birth and the information about myself. So when I gave her the information, she started burping as I was talking. As I talked, by giving out my information over the phone, she just started burping. That's what she was doing. And that's disgusting. And that was unprofessional. I remember on my first job that I ever had, I worked at a supermarket. And This was like a long time ago, around about 2001, 2002. This was a long time ago, and I remember this. I remember, I worked at this supermarket. I just collect shopping carts and bring them back into the store and clean the bathrooms or washrooms. As I was collecting shopping carts in the parking lot or the car park in front of the supermarket, I saw a black, I think, okay, the car wasn't black. I don't remember what the color the car was. I saw a Pontiac Firebird pulling up next to the side of the supermarket. And that car, it was a Pontiac Firebird, and it was in bad shape, and the pop-up headlights stopped working. The pop-up headlamps. Headlamps. I want to say headlamps. The pop-up headlamps wasn't working. They just stayed up, regardless if the headlights were on or off. Because if you turn the headlights off on cars like that, the headlights go down and they hide. When you turn on the headlights, they pop up. And these pop-up headlamps didn't work, and it just stayed on. They just stayed up. Okay, the Pontiac Firebird was shitty. It was crap. It wasn't really good shape. It was in horrible shape. Kind of rusty. Rust spots here and there, like large ones on the hood. And I saw license plates on it, and the license plates were Connecticut license plates. Okay, both doors open. The driver's side and the passenger side doors open, and two white guys got out. So the white guys got out and they went sat at the picnic table. And I got done collecting shopping carts, I saw the guys and I just did a friendly wave at them. I just waved at them. And these guys ignored me. So yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm going to compare this to what this guy from Pennsylvania said about people from New England. He said that the New England people are rude and ice cold and antisocial. And he told me that he's from Pennsylvania, and when you talk to people in Pennsylvania, they talk back to you and you engage in a conversation with them. You socialize with them. And he said that in Pennsylvania, that's normal. He said when he went to New England and tried that with the New Englanders, and he talked to some New England people in public somewhere in New England, he said that they got offended and didn't say anything or just simply ignored him because they found him talking to them in public to be weird. And that kind of resembles how people in Scandinavia are. And I'm just hearing more and more stuff from New England and getting a whip of how people in New England are. So I'm getting a lot of information from people who live in New England, who are from New England, from a lot of people here online. I don't know if it's true or not true. So, I just find people in New England to be kind of funny and weird to me. They sound like strange people. So I don't know, I kind of like that accent from people in Boston. Not all of them talk with that accent. In different parts of New England, It's kind of funny. Like for instance, like I say water, they say water, water. Yeah, and there's some people from New England that I like. You know, late Senator Ted Kennedy, who died a long time ago. Uh, he, let's see who else. Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy. I don't like Vince McMahon. He's the owner of the WWE. WWE is located in Stamford, Connecticut. So Vince McMahon is not from New England. He's from North Carolina. And I think that's about it. So I just find people from New England to be kind of strange. They're strange people to me. And they are. And people from New England, people who've been to New England said that New England is kind of resembles Europe a little bit. How it's laid out, how it's built, how the people are. Oh yeah, I forgot about Bernie Sanders. I like Bernie Sanders. That's a guy who should be president of the United States today. He should be running this country today, not Joe Biden or Donald Trump. This guy should have been president back in 2016. He should have won back in 2016. He should have won again in 2020. But he was screwed by the DNC. So that's just a shame. What a shame. Judging by the people of New England, I don't know. I can't understand why they are the way they are. Maybe it's the way they work. Because I heard they work really crazy. I don't know. I'm just saying this, they just work like this. Work, 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 die. 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 I guess that's how they are. I guess it explains just how messed up they are, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I guess they're workaholics, just like everybody else in America, because, the United States is a workaholic country. Americans work more, and they play and relax less, Americans in the United States, they live to work. And people in Europe and other countries work to live. I remember I had a back and forth conversation with someone from New England in the comment section of a video on some British guy's YouTube channel, which is titled Scotty 3861. Scotty 3861, excuse me. And we had a conversation. And I thought he was British, and he told me he wasn't British by saying this, sir, I'm not British. I live in New England. So I talked to him about New England, about how bad the roads are there and the poor signage on these roads. Like for instance, like if you're driving from one county to another in New England or any of the New England states, you won't know what county you're in because they don't have county line boundary signs that tell you what county you just crossed into. Nothing. In poor signage on highways like US 1 are pretty bad. And I told him about this, and he told me this, you are right. The signage is pretty bad. And also I told him about how bad it is here in Texas, how bad Texas is. And he told me this, you should get out of Texas and come move to New England. Come live in New England. You'll love it there. And I'm hearing that and I'm saying to myself, I don't want to live there. The people are kind of strange. You know, yeah, some of the people are all right, some of the people aren't okay. It is what it is. If I live in New England or live in one of the 6 states, I'll probably be miserable there. And you know, a while back, I thought about like, moving to New England, like moving to like Manchester, New Hampshire, like having a vacation home there and fly overseas and live in the real and live like in France, just live solely in France and just have a vacation home in New Hampshire. And I was thinking about that, and I say to myself, no, I better leave that alone. You know, I think living in New Hampshire, I think living in New England won't be a good idea because this is how the people are there. And Boston is a very violent, crime-ridden city. It's very bad. I don't know. I heard it's bad in Boston, like stabbings, kind of similar to the knife crime slash stabbings in the UK. You know, I'm gonna say this. I don't hate New England. I'm not gonna bash New England. I hate New York, but I don't hate New England. I mean, I just had that same feeling that I have about the UK and Canada. I just had mixed feelings about those places, and I don't want to live in any one of them at all because of just how some of the people are. New England, Nouvelle-Angleterre. I don't hate it, and I don't love it. I'm just in the middle of it, and I don't want to live there. I'll visit, but I'm not going to live there. And I'm not going to let some of the people who are kind of crappy who live in New England get to me. Just like here in Texas or any other part of the US. And Canada too. So, that's all I gotta say in this video. Au revoir.